Hail. Is there any evidence that hail is used symbolically in the Bible? We will begin with the book of Enoch. Enoch 60:16, and the spirit of the sea is male and strong, and according to the power of its strength, the spirit turns it back with a rain, and likewise it is driven forward and scattered amongst all the mountains of the earth. 17, and the spirit of the hoarfrost is its own angel, and the spirit of the hail is a good angel. 18, and the spirit of the snow has withdrawn because of its power, and it has a special spirit, and that which rises from it is like smoke, and its name is frost. These passages are an example of why some dismiss the Bible and other religious writings, claiming the things therein are not possible or nonsensical. But in Enoch 60:17, we see an association made between hail and angels, which are spiritual beings. Furthermore, we have this verse from Revelation 16:21, and there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven, every stone about the weight of a talent. And men blasphemed God because of the plague of the hail, for the plague thereof was exceeding great. The hail is not hail as in a hailstorm from the atmosphere. It came out of the other dimension, the parent dimension. And note that the weight is specifically given.
The Greek word talanton was first used for a unit of weight, probably about 30 to 40 kilograms, then later for a unit of money equivalent to the same weight. The heavy common talent used in New Testament times was approximately 58.9 kilograms, or 129 pounds 14 ounces.
About 130 pounds means it could be more. Could it be that a spiritual being weighs about 130 pounds? As with Hebrew names, where the meaning is determined from the syllables, for example, Daniel equals Dan plus El, which means judge plus God equals God's judge or God is judge, we should always be aware that the same could apply to words. That is, the word hail may have been used because of the meaning derived from its roots. Per Strong's hail is
Borad from H 1258. Hailstones.
The word is a compound of bow and rod, but it can also be decomposed to bar and ad. We can find all of these syllables in the Hebrew dictionary.
Bow, a primitive root, to go or come, abide, attain, befall, besiege. Ariad, a primitive root, to shudder, tremble. Bar, this syllable has many uses, depending on the syntax with it. Sun, air, pure, beloved, any kind of grain, field, open country, soap for washing. Ad, enveloping, fog, mist, but its root odd. Is raked together, firebrand, poker.
We can define two meanings if we wish. 1, besieged by trembling, and 2, heir of all. The latter in the sense of enveloping all the people or raked together. We could propose a message based on the code method used prior. You will be seized with trembling when you see the hail, and the beloved heir will gather together all the wheat and tares. Regardless, we can conclude that hail represents angels, spiritual beings in some contexts, and they bring a plague, and they may well represent the Lord's army. The Greek for plague, as appearing in Revelation 16:21, is plague, from G 41:41, a stroke, by implication a wound, figuratively a calamity. Plague, stripe, wound, ed. The primary definition is a stroke, as in striking, a wound. Only figuratively is it used as plague, as in a pestilence. The Greek word, whose primary definition is plague, as traditionally understood, is loimos, of uncertain affinity, a plague, literally the disease, or figuratively, a pest, pestilence. So, with hail symbolizing angels and the Greek word translated as plague, we can propose that the plague of Egypt and the one to come was, and will be spiritual beings striking and wounding the people. More on hail. Job 38:19. Where's the way where light dwelleth? And as for darkness, where's the place thereof? 20. That thou shouldest take it to the bound thereof, and that thou shouldest know the paths to the house thereof. 21. Knowest thou it, because thou wast then born? Or because the number of thy days is great? 22. Hast thou entered into the treasures of the snow? Or hast thou seen the treasures of the hail? 23. Which I have reserved against the time of trouble, against the day of battle and war? Here we see snow and hail presented in the manner of Enoch. And it is important to go to the original language. Hebrew for treasures is
H214. Utsar. From H686. A depository, armory, cellar, garner, store, house. Treasure, house.
The primary definition is depository, but the first application is armory. A good portion of the book of Job tells of Job listening to the counsel of 3 friends. Eventually, Yahovah confronts him and asks if he thinks he is wise for listening to them. Job is asked if he is so wise to tell Yahovah about all those things in the verses above. Yahovah asks Job if he has seen the armory of the angels that are prepared and waiting for the day of war. In fact, we could say that it is put to him in a way that requires understanding of the symbology. So, in a way, Yahovah is telling Job that he doesn't even know what is being discussed. Isaiah also speaks of the hail. Isaiah 28:2. Behold, the Lord hath a mighty and strong one, which is a tempest of hail and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters, overflowing, shall cast down to the earth with the hand. Keep in mind that the translators had to insert English words here and there, so the Hebrew would flow into the English, and which is an example. By transliterating, we would read a mighty and strong one, a hailstorm. This is in line with the symbolic meaning of hail. It represents angels, spiritual beings who are in heaven, the other dimension, and they can travel fro and to. Finally, a psalm of his beloved. Psalm 18:9, he bowed the heavens also and came down, and darkness was under his feet. 10, and he rode upon a cherub and did fly. He did fly upon the wings of the wind. 11, he made darkness his secret place, his pavilion. Round about him were dark waters and thick clouds of the skies. 12, at the brightness that was before him, his thick clouds passed, hailstones and coals of fire. 13, the Lord also thundered in the heavens, and the highest gave his voice, hailstones and coals of fire. 14, he sent out his arrows and scattered them, and he shot out lightnings and discomfited them. As an end note, could this be in the beginning?